Hey everybody, here's my video on how to do the Petar K method. I'm no expert at it, but I can get it to work, and I hope this video will help some of you out who have been having some problems with it. What I have here is a syringe with just VG in it, a piece of 30 gauge Kanthal, a 1/8 drill bit, and a piece of 3" by 2" 400 by 400 stainless steel mesh that I'll be making the wick from. So we'll start off by making the wick first. Now I roll a solid wick, I don't make a straw. What I usually do is start by folding about 1/8 of an inch worth of the wick over. Just get a little fold in it. And from there, we'll start rolling it. I roll it nice and tight too. Try to pull out it to this. Try to pull out as you're rolling it. Sorry, I keep going off the video. I'm not used to doing this. If you don't roll it evenly as you go, you'll notice it'll start to pop out and stick out the sides. But I leave it a little bit long so that way at the end I can trim some of that off. Just give it a good roll. It's solid, there's no hole, obviously you can't see because of the quality of the camera. Then I take my Addy and see if it fits. Normally when I do this, I will take from the bottom half of the wick and I will roll it tighter than the rest of it so I can get a good start when I make the coil going down through the wick hole. Alright, so as you can see it fits nice and snug just like you want it to. Once it hits the bottom, I usually pull it up a tiny bit. It doesn't really matter if it touches the bottom. And then take my scissors, put a little crimp in it so that when I take it out I can tell where to cut it to length. So after I put the crimp in it, cut that off. It'll kind of pinch the top. I know some people like a pinched top. I don't. I roll it back out so it's perfectly round. Now when I'm at this part, a lot of people like to oxidize. I don't oxidize. I just do a quick juice burn. That way if there's anything on there, any oils, any contamination, it'll get it off. And it also helps the break-in period. So I just take straight VG and soak the wick in it. I get it pretty good and wet so it burns for a little bit once you light it on fire. Alright, once you got it good and soaked, just light it with a lighter. It'll catch on fire, which is normal. And then I let it sit and burn until it burns itself out. This isn't a step that you have to do. It's just something that I prefer to do. Makes the break-in process quicker. With it unoxidized, I notice that sometimes I'll get a faint metallic taste in the beginning for the first half of the tank. In my opinion, this reduces that. I repeat this process 3 times. It's up to you. You don't have to do it that many times. You can do it more. Whatever works for you. Then I soak it again. This time it soaks in a lot easier because it's hot. I light it on fire again. Let it go till it burns itself out. Guess I didn't have enough VG in my syringe, so I gotta get a little more for the next one. Alright, put one last more juice burn to it. Well, there's no real amount of times you have to do this. I just 3's my number, I guess. Give this one a good wet down before I go ahead. Oh, sorry, I was too busy watching the flames. I was out of view. Alright, that's the 3rd time. Now I'll just let it cool. In the meantime, while it's cooling, we'll go ahead and make the coil. Hands are slippery from the VG. Alright, now what I have here, I just cut a piece of 30 gauge Kanthal A1. Use the drill bit, obviously, so you can make the perfect coil. It's probably hard to see, like I said, the video quality is crap. So I put it on the drill bit, I'll leave a little overhang so you can connect it to the negative leg. I like to use 3 wraps. Do it however many you prefer. Go around once, twice, 3 times. Now you don't have to really make it quite perfect right yet. And you'll see that it looks something like that. You'll have it twisted around there with a leg sticking off each side. So after I get that, I then stick the drill bit into my atomizer. And it'll be seated like that. You'll see the strands of the wick. And then that little piece of the coil that I left sticking out, I place underneath the negative screw. And then just tighten it down. Take your excess and work it off. This is where I pull it tight. Probably can't really see. And then I take it, push my coils down so they're all bunched up against each other. You can see that they're perfectly rolled once you do that. Once I have it like that, I'm trying to make it so you can see, I'm sorry. I'll then pull up that top lead that you have left. While you pull it up to the positive post, you'll see that it spreads out fairly nice. I pull it tight around the positive, then I'll take my tool here and spread the coils out nice and evenly, keeping tension. Make sure you keep tension on that piece of coil so that they don't come loose. And you don't have to make this exactly perfect. I like to. Now I'm just taking it and tightening the top lead up onto the positive post. Should have something that looks like that. I know my quality is crap, like I said, I'm sorry. And then once it's tightened, I'll straighten it up a little more. Man, you really can't see that. Alright, once you have it set where you want, you can take this extra piece of Kanthal and just twist it off until it breaks. And you can kind of see it on there. When you take the drill bit out, just be careful because you can bend the coils so it won't be perfectly lined up with the hole. I just twist the drill bit a little bit to make sure it's loose enough to pull out. And while I'm pulling it out, I twist it. And as you can see, there is a perfect coil set up on there. Not sure if that helps. Alright, now is where I have a half-dead battery. Put it together. Got my beautiful green Envy here made by Faceless. Amazing product. And after I put it together, I'll then do some dry fires with it without the wick installed. Let me see if I can move this up a little bit for you. You can see what's going on here. Now, I'll do a few of these. You'll see them all light up really bright. This will stiffen the coil, so when you put the wick in it won't bend and it burns off some of the junk that's on there. Alright. Now is when I go ahead and put the wick in. Since you pre-fit it to the hole, it should thread nicely if you twist it carefully through your coils without bending them. Should thread nice right down inside. I can already tell my wick's a little too tight, so it might take some adjustments for you till you get used to it. Just tighten it down a little bit. And it's still a little snug, but you don't have to pull it all the way back out to tighten it. You can just twist it while it's in there. Just adjusting a little bit, I bent them. And just give it a quick pulse fire, see what you come up with. You probably have a little hot spot. Gotta get used to adjusting. Sometimes I'll just pull the wick out and twist it a little bit, fit it back down there. See, I'm getting a hot spot right there at the top if you pulse it. And I'll poke at the wick a little bit, see if I can do that without before I have to move the coils. Still getting one right there at the top. Alright. Okay, now I'm not sure if you can see with this quality, but I've moved the hot spot from the top. Now it goes halfway down it. So I have one more hot spot right now down in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and poke at that one. As you can see, with that one poke, I went ahead and got all of them lit. It's fairly quick. The bottom one needs a little bit of adjustment. As you can see, it's not glowing quite as bright, so while firing, I'll make some minor adjustments. So now, I'm not sure if you can see on this quality, but all 3 coils, they light up at the same time, nice and bright. Yeah, see if it's... all 3 nice and bright. Alright, now we'll go ahead and put some juice in. Some green apple with menthol here. When I'm waiting for the wick to soak up, I'll just fire it a few times. The heat seems to draw the liquid up pretty well. Alright, now my wick is soaked. You can see it's firing. Perfect. No hot spots. No glowing top lead, no glowing bottom lead. Oh, it's drying up. But see, I got no leads glowing on there at all. And it'll burn for a minute actually before it even glows. I'll go ahead and, by the way, I received my glow-in-the-dark tip from Interceptor today. It's pretty sweet. I'll go ahead and take some puffs off this. Let me put my fresh battery in. This one's been going for about 7 hours. Taste is amazing. No dry hits. Vapor is pretty good. Alright, you can see it works. Not really sure if you could tell how I did it with the quality of the camera, but if there's any questions or anything that you guys need help with, or I can do something different in the video, just let me know. I can make another one. Later.